So we've seen the markets faring relatively well this week, from Monday winning back some of Friday's and the last 2 weeks' losses, really. What's your perspective on the markets at the moment and the kind of activity we're seeing?
That's right. We've sort of bounced back since Monday after having suffered quite a setback last week. I think the SEMDEX went down by some 4%, and the heavyweight index, the SEM7, was down by almost 5% on the back of some panic selling due to the outbreak of fights and uncertainty in the Middle East on the one hand, and on the other hand, the Asian markets were drastically down due to the earthquake and tsunami in Japan. Per se, the Mauritian companies as listed, the banks, the hotels, were not directly affected by all these events, but psychologically a sort of panic sell by foreign investors to begin with, which led the locals to follow suit, and thereby making the market correct itself. But we've seen a turnaround since Monday. The sentiment seems to be back. The market seems to be slightly up, and it seems to be stabilizing since this morning.
When it comes to evaluating sustainability or the muscle of this uptrend, just one of the factors taken into consideration is the breadth of the upturn and then also actual volume behind it. Are we seeing gains filtering through across the board, and are volumes convincing?
Yes, when you have volatility, when you have the market falling by 4 or 5%, or the other way around, going up 4 or 5%, you do see volumes. That's the encouraging part of it. We've seen foreigners exit the market by some $5 million, if not more. That's been quite some volumes on the banks. It's not been thin trading per se, but we've seen good trading. We see 2011 as being a year of challenges. We see 2011 as being volatility, which will create more volumes, more trading as well, especially on the blue chips.
Where are you seeing opportunity at the moment and increasing your position?
As I said earlier before, and I think the last time I intervened on your channel, was that we have a very good, sound and fundamentally strong banking system. Both our banks, MCB and State Bank, are very solid. They're still growing despite the financial crisis. They recorded growth in net profits and in turnover as well. Whereby we see the banks as being one where you've got a good long-term upside with a sound dividend yield. That's where we see ourselves increasing our position. That's the MCB and the State Bank. But when you look at what the hotels have done in the last year as well, you take 2 years back, Nayad was trading at a price of 135. They've come up with a good restructuring plan. It's currently trading at 25 rupees, which is five times that's the price of its all-time high. And from now on, we see encouraging results. We see the tourist arrivals increasing in Mauritius. We see the hotels have sort of accepted the fact that the rupee is strong, and they restructured themselves. They're all having entered into good projects and into the upmarket. The hotels are something that we need to be cautiously optimistic on, but it's good to accumulate on weakness.
One of the factors being considered in terms of risk to this picture moving forward is the fact that there's speculation of a probable increase in the repo rate that will further affect profitability and indirectly the economy as well. We've got rates standing at 4.75%. When we have the MPC announcing its rates decision on March the 28th, what are you expecting?
We're all expecting an increase in interest rates, for the simple reason being we've got a very high inflation rate since December. Some are even of the school of thought that we've got about 6 to 7% of inflation, which we haven't seen in many years now. So the expectations is that, yes, the MPC, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Mauritius, are going to increase interest rates. Whether it's going to be in March or in June, we don't know yet, but that's definitely going to have a negative impact on the stock market, and the more so that the tax on the interest savings rate has been abolished beginning 1st of January 2011. So as I said, we're going to have some challenging times ahead for the stock market. We're going to have some more volatility, but hopefully more volumes and more trading as well.
Quick look at the results front. We've got Mauritius Union. We're expecting to see results released pretty soon, and this would be the first set of numbers after the company's amalgamation. What are your broad expectations there?
As you mentioned, rightly so, MUA, the Mauritius Union Assurance, has been into quite some mergers and acquisitions in the last 2 years or so. They purchased the National Mutual Fund 2 years back, and recently last year they acquired La Prudence Mauritienne, which is another insurance company. And the results for the financial year ending 31st of December 2010, for the first time we'll be reporting for all three together. Consolidating itself, we're looking at at a good growth in their PAT, and as well, after segregating the life insurance with the general insurance, we see a very good upside on Mauritius Union.